Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The close range meta here in Warzone 2 Season 3 Reloaded is super competitive. We've got a ton of really solid options, all that excel in having a fast TTK, having great mobility, being a great counterpart to medium and long range weapons here. So today we are breaking down the entire close range meta and the best setups for the weapons that fall within that niche. Starting first with one of my favorites, the Vaznev. This is one of the most reliable close range options in the game right now, one of the most picked close range options in the game right now, and for good reason. It is speedy, it's fast, it's agile, perfect for the aggressive gameplay, and its TTK is phenomenal up close, especially within the first 10 meters or so. So here we've got the 45 round extended mag, pretty basic. True tack rear grip, better ADS and sprint-to-fire, a rear grip style that you're going to see a lot of in this video. We tuned to enhance that ADS and sprint-to-fire even more. I go for the Atrazat stock. This is going to be for better sprint speed and strafe speed, and we tune to enhance the mobility there even more. The Ole laser, again, something you're going to see a lot of in the video here today, offers that better ADS speed and sprint-to-fire, and you can tune to enhance that even more. And then lastly, I go for the cast one barrel. The damage range on this thing is a really steep fall off very quickly, so any extension to that is pretty clutch. I tune for the inverse of better mobility here, so we can kind of get all in one out of this one specific attachment. But Vaznev, despite a slight nerf that it got with Season 3 Reloaded, is still absolutely frying up close. Now, I'm not quite sure how, but the Kastov 74U has been a top tier close range option, an absolute meta close range option since day one of Warzone 2. And it hasn't been nerfed. This thing for a rifle is so good between 0 and 25 and 30 meters. It just fries. We build this to basically match the speed of SMGs or get as close to them as possible. And the TTK is so much better because you're bringing the power of a rifle to close range gunfights, right? So this thing's absolutely insane. We got the 45 round extended mag here yet again. Demo X2 rear grip for better control, but I tuned for the inverse of better mobility, so we're getting a lot out of this specific attachment. The R7 stock, but you could also go for the Atrazat if you wanted to. That's another really solid choice. Either way, we are tuning for better mobility here to make it even more aggressive. Ole laser on here yet again for the better ADS and sprint-to-fire. Then the 209 barrel is all mobility based as well. Better movement, better ADS speed. I tuned for the better ADS speed, and then a little bit of better steadiness there, just for some consistency in the mid-range. This is also a really good sniper support choice as well, but for close range for a rifle, this is one of the best options we have. Now, right alongside that is the Chimera, and really when it comes to the Chimera versus the 74U, Chimera, in my opinion, might be a little bit easier to use and a tad bit more aggressive. The 74U has some better velocity, so it's going to be a little bit more, consistent in the mid-range, but it's a pick your poison type of deal. Each of these are just so reliable, so strong, so good in close range gunfights. This setup also largely built around making it more aggressive. 45 round extended mag yet again, Bruin flash, rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire. I do go for the steadiness here again, just for some consistency. You could go for the ADS speed though if you wanted to, alongside the better sprint to fire. The 7 milliwatt laser, basically the equivalent of the Ole laser, better ADS and sprint to fire with tunes to match. For some control, I do go for the Tango underbarrel just to make this thing really easy to use. You don't have to worry about any recoil and really any fight you're realistically taking with this thing. We tune for the better mobility there. Then also the Vorpal barrel's got some nice mobility benefits as well. I do, however, tune for the better range and steadiness here. If you wanted to go all mobility though and do the inverses, you could do that too. There's no wrong answer with the tuning on this one. Regardless of how you build it, the Chimera is going to be a fantastic close range option. And we can't not bring up the P90, the PDSW 528. Personally, my favorite close range gun in the game, just because it's so speedy, it's so quick. Pretty much everything we've got on this outside of one attachment is meant for making this even more aggressive. So you are going to fly and you are going to fry with this thing. It's so much fun to use and actually has a hyper competitive TTK up close and especially through the mid range as well. So first up here, we've got the light rail. This is for just straight up better movement speed, and it uses the iron sights, which I've come to actually like quite a bit. We tune for better sprint speed and sprint to fire speed as well. The Q900 rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire with tunes to match that. Behind the face cam, as always, we've got the TV tac comb, and this also helps out with the ADS and sprint to fire. We tune for the better mobility there as well. 7 milliwatt laser yet again for the better ADS and sprint to fire. And then just for some consistency, if you happen to find yourself in a situation where recoil is a little bit more noticeable, I do go for the KT85. This mainly attacks vertical. It also helps out with some horizontal there too, though. You can't go wrong with this thing. It's going to make the gun an absolute laser beam, and obviously with everything else stacking here, this thing flies across the map. One of the best mobility options we have in the game. I love this thing. Now, as we get into our final few weapons here for the close range meta, quick reminder, if you guys are new to the channel or if you have not already subscribed, every day I'm your one-stop shop for everything going on in COD. Whether it's meta breakdowns like this, new updates, news, everything going on is right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, and join us ultimately on the road to 1 million subs. And if you guys enjoyed this video, if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. Would be seriously appreciated. Maybe deserving of my second favorite close range option right now in Season 3 Reloaded, we've got the MP5, the Lachmann sub. This build is fast, this build is easy, it is so aggressive. This is what I've been using a lot in my ranked matches as of late. So 40 round extended mag here, you could also jump up to 50 if you wanted to, but I find 40 to be totally sufficient in pretty much every single type of fight. The TCG-10 rear grip is for better control. There's no like ADS and sprint to fire rear grip here, so I just tuned for that in this case instead. I've also got the factory stock, the mirror recoil stock here. It's gonna help out with recoil control, but also sprint speed. So really two nice bonuses out of one attachment. I do tune for even better mobility there. 7mm laser, as always, no surprises here. Then the Falcon barrel not only sounds cool, but it gives you better movement and ADS speed. I tune for the better ADS and then some recoil just to make it even easier to use, especially in like some mid-range if you ever find yourself in that situation. Such a reliable setup. This is one that the pros are using a ton of lately as well. Really solid. Can't go wrong with it. Now, quite frankly, a slept on weapon here in the close range meta is the MP7. For whatever reason, people don't think this is as good as it is, but close range and for mid range, even in some sniper support areas, the MP7 is phenomenal. It's got great mobility, basically no recoil, and a super competitive TTK. Like, it's checking all the right boxes here. So first up, 50 round extended mag, gonna have minimal cons. It is slowing you down, but not nearly as much as it did before, because several updates in a row now have actually buffed the extended mags. We've got the soldier rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire with tunes to match that. The RXT stock here for better sprint speed and ADS speed. I tuned for some stability. You could also go for the strafe speed though if you wanted to. Then the better ADS speed. 7mm laser yet again. And then I also go for the KT85 lock shot compensator here too. Once more, just to make this thing super easy to use. Pretty much eliminates all recoil there is, so you don't have to worry about that. You can just focus on frying your enemies in the close and mid range. I love the MP7. Like I said, I think it's super slept on, but I think people are going to start to come around to just how good this thing is. And then lastly here, we've got the brand new FTAC Siege, and this is one that's especially good to use because you can use this in water if you find yourself in those situations, which you can't do underwater with a normal SMG or anything like that. You also don't have to use overkill as a perk if you don't want to have this on your setup. So it brings a lot of extra versatility that these other options just don't have. Here, I do go full overkill on the mag. I go for the 72 round drum. I think most people probably prefer 50 though, just because it's a tad bit faster, but either or here is going to be plenty of ammo for any kind of fight. The Sur 160 rear grip for the better ADS and sprint to fire. The Siege stock is going to be nice here for the better control. It just brings some consistency to the weapon, but then I also go ahead and I tune it for the better mobility. We've got the Diode laser here, which is basically the same as the Olay and the 7mm. It's better ADS and sprint to fire. We have tunes to match that. Then lastly, I go for the CMR N50 barrel here, the Carmen barrel, which is for better recoil and better velocity. Again, just bringing some consistency and making this feel more like an SMG rather than just an auto pistol. I do tune for the better range here, again, to help out there because pistols are going to be, you know, obviously a little bit worse than subs with their damage drop off, and then some better steadiness too. So surprisingly good for a pistol. If you didn't know it was one, you probably wouldn't be able to tell because really it is like a mini SMG in a lot of ways. And that being said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. That is the new close range meta here in Warzone 2 Season 3 Reloaded. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you found it helpful at all, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things going on in COD, whether it's MW2, Warzone 2, or DMZ. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.